Hi guys, welcome to this week's episode of The Real Realtor of Houston, where I'm Kendall Peacock Butler, but you can just call me Peacock, of course. And today we have the immense opportunity and pleasure of having my videographer, magician, who can just make all my things come together, Mr. Joseph Joe Herrera.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the show. Behind the camera, so he gets to be in front of it. Are you excited today, Joe?
I'm excited.
Because he's so cute. Like, he should be in front of the camera. Well, if you're interested in what I do for my social media, how I keep it up with the analytics, what you should be doing, he is the person. If you're in the world of social media and you're thinking about trying to upgrade and revamp your look, this is the guy that you're gonna wanna see this interview. So stay tuned. We can't wait for you to see the rest.
Later.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Show, guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, welcome back to the show. We found us some chairs to sit down at, and again, reintroducing the man behind the camera. You've seen him on, well, you haven't seen him, but you've seen his work on, what, like at least four or five different episodes?
Yeah, like 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's been on he's been on majority of season 2. I will definitely say I'm creeping into season 3. My appreciation event, the last episode or the last footage that we got, Joseph Herrera, just a magical genius when it comes to the social media management. So, I'm being all kinds of rude. So yes, I am so excited to get you in front of the camera today because you have been able to help me really transform the ideas that I have that I didn't even know I had, and being able to help take my image, and we're still working on it with getting that image to improve even more, but I just have appreciated your vision so much. So, Joseph Herrera, guys.
Hey guys.
How does it feel?
Feels good.
Well, good. We like you to feel good with the Peacock. So, are you leading out, because we are in this amazing city of Houston.
Yeah.
Are you from here?
Basically, yeah. I grew up here. I grew up in Spring Branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
This city is, and we are in the medical center area at the McGovern Centennial Park at Memorial Harmon. So I'm gonna shut up. You just talk, Joe. What goodness do you feel with people creeping into social media? What is, as a photographer, as a person behind the camera, what are some things that you are like, oh, y'all might want to pay attention to how it looks? I know you say consistency is a big thing.
It's like the most important thing, because you can pick up a camera and produce relatively good things, as long as you just keep your finger on the button. Eventually you'll knock something into place. But consistency is the hardest part, because it just means the environment's always changing, and so your settings have to change. When you don't know how to do that, then you're going to get inconsistent results. But that's only usually, it has to do with professional gear, because with your phone, the most amazing thing about your phone is it does all the calculations for you. It can't do what a professional machine can do, because it doesn't know what your vision is. But the phone knows how to make a relatively good picture. Okay. And so yeah.
Oof, because I'm like trying to, and when I'm like doing little vlog things, I'm like, so should I record it sideways, or should I record it, or should I do like on the Instagram stories, or should I just do my regular camera? Because when we have different episodes and I want him to put some of that footage in there, he's just like, it depends on what you want it to look like, because color grading is the biggest thing that you were like, hey, I'm really big in color grading. What does that mean when you're talking about color grading in the photos?
Well, I was saying I was big on it because it was so new to me. I started to dabble in it with photography, because one of the most exciting things about photography is how much the picture changes once you start shifting the colors around, and you get out of the mindset of, I just wanted to represent what the picture looked like to my eyes. When you get out of that and you make it whatever you want to be, you start messing with things and colors and light, then it completely transforms into what you would like it to be, what you imagine it could be. But I was most excited when it came to video, because the process of color grading in video is that many more times difficult.
Because it's constantly moving.
Because obviously, yeah, exactly. The video is constantly moving, the light, the shapes are constantly changing, and so you're always having to manipulate it that much more, because it's so dynamic versus a standalone picture or a standstill picture. But yeah.
All right, I jumped into it. I completely went out of order, trying to
That's okay.
go off of my memory. Tell us about yourself.
So like I said, I grew up here in Houston. I've been interested in music ever since I was really little, so that's why my friend, who's manning the camera today,
Shout out to Casey.
yeah, yeah, so love music. And so once I was in my 20s, then I got in a band because I had been playing guitar. My father gifted me a guitar, and I'd been playing, just messing around, picking on it for like a couple years. Got into a band, and that's basically where I entered messing around on the computer and trying to be technical and figure out
Via the band?
Yeah, because you have to record your music, or you don't have to, but we wanted to. And so that's an entirely different element. It's an entirely different thing. You can learn how to play an instrument, then once it gets to recording it, it's a completely different story. Yeah.
So via the band, you got into editing the music, and then how did that go into film? Or how did that go into with photography?
So I didn't really edit any music. It was my friend that did a lot of it. Really, it almost had no direct transition to photography or videography. What happened was I was just messing around with music. I love music, but I didn't take it as seriously as I would have liked to become what I thought I wanted to become. And I was just kind of messing around with my life and hanging out, really. And one day, I'm with a friend, and he says that he has an idea for a business. And so he asks,
Got an idea.
Yeah, he asks me if I could take over the media part of it. And so I said, okay. And so I just started to get on the internet and go through a lot of people arguing about what to do with what things and sifting through all the information and separating things and experimenting. And eventually I had enough in my mind and experimenting where I thought, okay, I guess I'm ready to try to do a professional shoot. And so I had my first professional shoot. As we talked off camera before, I was lucky to have tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, you know, and suddenly, you know, I had everything that I needed and the knowledge to be able to try to pull it off. And so I did. And yeah, and so I was doing photography for a little while, but I always knew that what I wanted to move on to next was videography, and beyond that, cinematography. And so it's really whatever I can get my hands on that makes something is mostly what I enjoy.
You're a creator.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just want to...
Instead of Tyler, the creator, we got Joe, the creator.
That's crazy because I was super inspired by Tyler.
Really?
Yeah, his first album, Bastard. I played that record over and over and over. And that's what helped get me back into hip hop because I left it a while. Like I said, we were in a metal band. And, but I went back to hip hop hearing the new sounds and I was like so inspired. That's when I started making beats, you know.
Which, for the intro of the show, the November 28th, the little piano part that was in there, I just told him, I love this song. Can you make it be something for my show? So he went in, he freaked it. I said, I freaking love it when I got it back. But I did not know that you were the one playing the piano to actually remix the sound. So how did you... walk me through the process of how you even came. I was like, this sounds so freaking amazing, and you would never know that it wasn't a part of the actual song, at least not for me.
I think what we had talked about was, you know, you generally wanted to make it something different, just like you said. And so I thought, well, the first thing I can do is because this middle part has no drums really, the drums come in like right after, that I can just add some drums of my own and make it a beat and create a rhythm. And I try to do that. And then I thought, my favorite, I know I said guitar, but my favorite instrument really is piano. I just love messing around on it. I like the way it sounds. I think it's easier to come up with something on the piano.
Yeah, it's just...
than a guitar. The guitar you have to move like this, and it has a lot of strings, and you can play the same note in many different places.
That is true.
But a piano is just, it's a
there.
straight line.
It's just whatever your fingers want to do, wherever they want to take you. I actually was telling a friend of mine, I love that I have such high level conversations with my friends, and they challenge me to think outside the box. And I think sometimes we forget some goals that we may have had for ourselves or things that we may have been interested in as life progresses. So, little mini story time. I used to, when Jaden was 4 or 5, I put her into piano lessons because I always wanted to learn how to play the piano. So I was going to live vicariously through my child.
Yeah.
She wasn't interested, not even a little bit. I got her a keyboard for like $50. I found it on Craigslist. So I was like, why not just I learn how to play the piano? This just came up like yesterday, this conversation. So now I'm going to creep into getting into piano lessons because it is such a beautiful instrument that you can go any way with it, like you said, a range.
Yeah.
So do you look at it like, is music, is any of this like a therapy for you in a way?
I don't know. I don't really think about it like that. I just enjoy doing it. I guess, yeah, when I do it, it makes me feel better, but I don't know if it's confined to music, because if I just leave something behind and come back to it, I feel better. Like if I just went off into music for a long time and I came back and did a video, I would probably feel good. You know?
Oh, so it's like a hit of dopamine in a way, like just to do. So would you rather? So you would rather do the videography at this point than the music? Well, not at this point, but
I would rather be writing and doing like a short of some kind and kind of just uploading it on YouTube. Because that was the first video that I did, and that was the first time I did something completely on my own, and I didn't have anybody try to interfere with what I wanted to do. And so it was just like so much fun, and I lost myself in that thing, and I completed it, and it was the most satisfying thing that I had ever done.
And that was completing a short.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an ad for the company I had with my friend. And we wanted to put it in Facebook ads. And so I was inspired by seeing companies produce cinematic ads. And obviously they're just ads that are supposed to look like films and have a story. And so they're obligated to be longer than normal. And I was like, okay, I have lights that I bought for this exact reason, or that they bought for me. And I just started to set everything up and hired an actor and wrote the thing. And there's not a lot of dialogue, so it wasn't a lot to write. And composing the music and setting up the shots and doing test shoots to make sure everything was right on the day of the shoot. And then I had an assistant to help me with the light. It was really just my friend. And yeah, we had a boom and a light and outdoors and
you had somebody holding
you
it.
had a backpack with a battery in it and following the actor, and you know, I had a whole rig that I put together, and it was the most fun thing I had ever done.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then I just like lost my mind editing it and doing the music for it and just everything, the sound effects, everything.
When you say lost your mind, is that like you just went crazy in a good way?
It was like I went away, you know, just focusing on the thing.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Because that usually, it's a hard thing to make happen, because I guess you have to obviously love something, like love something.
To be into it and give it that kind of focus.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really appreciate when we are, and I've said it on many episodes, I'll say it again. I hope that I'm not being disrespectful when I'm sending these text messages at 1 o'clock in the morning, because I can finally sit down. Yeah, when you're asleep. I was like, I just hope he has it on Do Not Disturb, so that way it's not waking him up or anything. But what I really appreciate is how dedicated you are to this vision, because this show literally would be nothing without the support of your vision, your creativity, and just all things. So I love that you are passionate about it. And that's something that I will say when people are looking for their team and like, well, how do you find somebody? It is so important to be able to have somebody that you feel like they can kind of take. We all have strengths. My strength is just I can come up with an idea of what I want, but I need somebody else to be able to take it and like put their own little sprinkle of funk on it, because I would never have seen that. So when you're sitting there like, you know, I really believe in this and I'm excited to see where this goes, it gives even more energy to that vision and just transforms it into what it has become. So thank you so much for being just committed to the Real Realtor of Houston and the Dreams to Reality Homes team. You've definitely been a bit blessed in my life. Okay, so you told us that you got into it via music. How long have you been, like, as a child you were doing music, so how long have you been doing the social media, videography? Like, how long have you been doing that portion of it, I guess you could say?
Videography, seriously, for like a year and a half, a year.
And you're self-taught?
Yeah.
From nothing, you taught yourself photography, music, videography, all of it?
Yeah.
And you've only been doing this for a year and a half? Seriously?
The videography, yeah.
Jesus. So is it like you just went to YouTube University and just locked in on it, or?
Yeah, I spent like the majority of all my days just reading and that's it, or listening to videos.
In a year and a half? I mean, when people talk about businesses, there was so many millionaires that came out of the pandemic. It was people that their creativity is what took them. So that's the pandemic.
That's what I did. I just locked down because everybody had to be home, and so all I did was all day was that.
Just diving right into it.
I just took the opportunity.
What were you doing before you got into
bartending?
You were bartending?
Yeah.
I want to be a bartender. That's gonna be one of my careers one day.
you have to love people, you know, and want to talk to them and on their down days, because you get a lot of those too.
I'm a counselor by trade, and I naturally somehow, I remember, oh my gosh, I was on duty one day. Duty is a 24-hour, you have to stay on the ship or stay on the base or whatever, and you're the person protecting whatever duty whatever post you're watching. That's the best way I can think to describe it in civilian terms, right? So I was a tour guide on my ship. I was on the USS George H.W. Bush.
Awesome.
One of them. Mm-hmm. And the USS Ronald Reagan, that was my first one. But I was a tour guide, and so this family comes on the ship, and the son was stationed on the boat, so you can have your family come on board, and they can go see what the berthings and the mess hall and all these, other places that we have to be at, but it's a tour guide for them, and it's just cool to see the ship.
Yeah.
Because it's a warship, so of course it's cool. So the mom, we're walking around, and I don't know how I always end up being in the back to make sure everybody's okay, but she has to walk down the stairs, the ladder well backwards. So we're, walking and talking, and somehow or another we get on the topic of her son is going through a divorce and all these things. And I was just like, I don't think I'm supposed to know this information. I don't know him. We're just on the ship together, but I don't, look at it any kind of way. I just know that people don't mind talking to me about stuff. Yeah. And everybody doesn't have that gift. There's some people who may wish that people would come and talk to them. I'd be wishing people would decide not to talk to me, but then I also invite them to come talk to me, and then I'd be like, okay, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Yeah. You can go. But I feel like bartending would be fun. I would get to, be youthful for the rest of my life and practice wearing good push-up bras and stuff, seeing how well does Victoria keep any secrets,
While getting people drunk.
While getting people drunk, and they're gonna love me, so I'm gonna get great tips. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be my next career. When I decide I'm ready to sit down from real estate, should ever a day come, bartending.
All right, well, I'll shoot somebody your way, because I still get people that want me to do bartending gigs.
Really?
Yeah.
So, really, I can do that?
Yeah, because what I did was I worked for a catering company, so they'd be like, hey, do you want this job? And then you go to Minute Maid, and you go to the top floor in the private booth. And
I want to go to the private booth.
Yeah.
So I don't have to have any experience, because all I know how to make is coconut margarritas, and I'm still mastering.
Just tell me you have experience.
Just tell them I do?
Yeah. And then learn the top 10 cocktails to make. A Manhattan, old-fashioned martini.
I can make Shirley Temples.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really put vodka in them, but you can sneak it in there.
Please, no, I'm serious. I would have so much fun doing that.
No, you could do it, yeah.
How much do they make an hour? I'm just curious.
It just depends on the company that you work for, but one of the companies that I work for paid $24 an hour.
Yeah. To just go get people drunk? Yeah. Oh my God, can you take shots with them?
No.
No? All right. I don't really like shots like that anyway. Man, oh my God. See, this is how my little hustles be happening. So seriously, if you hear some things, I just want to see what it's like. I want to just go see if I can handle it. Okay, real quick story time again. So when I first moved down here, way back in end of 2017, I was trying to figure out how I was going to pay my rent. Mm-hmm. And I know some of my gifts. I'll have a great personality. people tell me I'm a little bit cute, you know, and, you know, I have body parts that are appealing to the eye. So I figured I could go be a waitress somewhere or at one of the strip clubs. So I was just like, the ones that they put in the rap songs and stuff. So I took my homegirl with me. I was like, listen, I know that I can get good tips. I can't be a dancer. I will not be a dancer. That's not my thing. I'm over there like, put a jacket on. Like, just, that's somebody's daughter or somebody's aunt or something out there. Like, she's being subjected to these men just treating her like this. And so I was like, I can't do that, but I can at least I can serve drinks and I can have, you know, Coke and a smile, you know? So yeah, I knew I had an amazing personality, or at least I was funny, whatever. So we went, scoped out one popular strip club at the time. And I talked to the manager and was like, you know, what do I need to do to, you know, get a job here? And so he was like, get the liquor handling license and food handling or whatever, and come back and apply. And there was another one I went to, there was a gentleman's club, but I was gonna be a server at a strip club, you know, because I know I could get me some quick little tips, quick little money, put on some leggings, give me like a little jersey or something, because my little stomach, they could cover that up. And I was gonna be in there winning. So this is how I hop on to different hustles to make that money quick. And now I'm about to be a bartender. You said what?
It makes things more interesting.
When you try different hustles?
Just do different things, yeah.
Because you never know what you don't like until you try it.
Yeah.
And people want to sit there and be like, oh, I would never do anything like that. And then you try it and you realize you're like, this is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be a 50-year-old woman being a bartender. I'm gonna get a tattoo of like a lollipop or something. I don't know. I don't know what stereotype I'm pulling that from, but take it. What we're gonna do right here is go back. Way back. You were on the episode at the Fat Eatery, and that was our first time working together, and you jumped right in there and like, hey Kendall, you really need to be working on your thumbnails because that's the direction that YouTube is going in, and that's what, you know, people that's what they want to see. So it was little tips like that you were giving me from the initial episode that we started working together of how to help me look better. And there was no kind of commitment there. It was like we literally were just doing one episode. So that when you're looking for someone for your team, like someone who is dedicated to whatever it is you're trying to do, I'm gonna harp on Joe because nobody was telling him to do that. He took it upon himself, the initiative. And when you're getting into this world of entrepreneurship, it takes so much initiative and just get up and give a damn about things. Like, really? I shouldn't curse. I'm supposed to be a Southern belle. That's why I wore my pearls.
I'll believe it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But see, that's not such a bad word. But yeah, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jesus, and the list keeps going. So I'm really excited about all the work that we've done, and then leading into a great segue of, you know, all the work that we have done. What were you working on leading up to us getting together? Like, you were saying that you had gotten into the videography, and you were wanting to get into it. So what were some of the things that you were like, okay, projects you kind of had going behind the scenes? Because I know that this is not the only thing you've done. You had sneaker companies that you were creating their marketing products for them.
Yeah, I still do that for them. Yeah, I have a partner, and so right before that, I was doing his Instagram, and I had nothing to do with the marketing or the management. That was all him. But I hopped on and started to do his photos, and then I wanted to get into videography, like we said, about 1.5 years ago. And so I began doing that seriously with him, and use that as a place to mess around and see what I could do and pull off. But right before I started to work for the sneaker store. And just at that exact same time, I started to get into 3D work, animation and modeling, and because I just suddenly realized it solved the problem that I had in my mind, thinking about a very large project that's like way ahead of me. So I was like, okay, I should practice now and see what's up. And so I started to do that, and then I started to make 3D videos for the sneaker page, and then it was that was around the time that I met you, and so that's why I was like, oh, I'll do a little 3D Instagram logo.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I freaking loved it, and all the little like extra things that you throw in throughout the episode that it gives it life.
Yeah.
Almost.
I try not to do too much. If you notice, like I'm very I don't know how to say it. I guess plain.
Simplistic, maybe?
It's simple because I want to get the foundation nice before you add extra things, because that's where a lot of people stumble. They try to be way too extra and get ahead of themselves, and then it's not appropriate, whatever it is that they're doing. They're just throwing things left and right, like trying to make it stick, and I kind of wanted to avoid that. But I thought, because I was doing the 3D modeling thing, I was like, I know I could do that. And a lot of other YouTubers do stuff like that, but I just wanted to give it a try.
I love it. I tell people, from my hair being colored to whatever, if there's a twitch, an idea that is dropped and deposited into your spirit, you feel free to just have fun and run wild with it, because those are the things that it's just like, I wonder. And then it ends up being amazing. We're innovators here at the Dreams to Reality Homes team. Innovation, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so, oh, I'm so glad you said that you want to do the cinema thing, because I have some other ideas that we're gonna talk offline of, like, what's some stuff coming up with the Real Realtor of Houston.
Okay.
Because they're gonna see way more. Y'all gonna be sick of me. Y'all gonna be seeing me everywhere on Instagram, boosted, commercials. Y'all gonna see me at least 3 times a week, the same commercial. So y'all just get ready for it, because it's coming in 2024. And I already got my cinema videography guy. So with that being said, what are some things that you have that you're gonna be working on that you're potentially wanting your business to not go in that direction, but what's like the next thing that you're looking at getting into?
I feel like I have so much on my plate that I don't want to really add that much more. I guess I'm just still driving towards the same goal. I'm learning a lot of things that will produce the project that I ultimately want. And it's really great, because all the things I end up liking are funneling to that very same place. But yeah, that's way ahead of me, and it's just not something that I just wanted to address. It's just something that I want to happen, you know?
I'm the only person I know that lives like 5 years in the future. And I'm working on staying in the present. But like you were saying, you wanted to get into the videography. So I didn't know if there was another area or another medium that you wanted that kind of caught your attention, that you're like, ooh, this would be fun. But no, you're cool where you are?
I think what I'm doing is I'm bouncing back into audio right now. So before we talked about, I was doing it 8 years ago, 10 years ago. But the way that I was doing it was not serious. It was just, I was messing around and kind of working through things. But now I'm in a much more serious time in my life. So I want to go back and actually tackle it at a better, more proficient level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Audio. I can't wait to see what you do for me with your audio stuff. Okay. All right, so the biggest thing that you have one of the biggest things that you've blessed my life with is the analytics. Being able to go and look at the analytics on Instagram. And I'm like, I know that I can look at it on my screen, but I don't always understand what all these numbers mean that I'm looking at. So what should people look at for analytics on their different sources? What should they care about when they're looking at it? Because people can be looking at your thing, but it could be a robot that might be giving you these numbers, or we don't even care about that.
Nope. You just have good faith that you're being given the tools that are correct. I mean, you have to, because the platform wants you to use those tools correctly to be able to do better, because it's their platform. They want more people on it and for them to stay longer on it. So the tools work. But the 2 things I would say, the most important things, are know exactly what the definitions of the tools are, what the words mean. So you have a tool like impressions. You have to know exactly what that word means, to a T. Because if you don't, then all you stand to do is confuse yourself on what the numbers are potentially telling you, or how one analytical tool interacts with another to give you a more complete story about what your next move should be, or about what's happening on your page. So if you don't have the definitions down, then you're nowhere. You have no guiding star. But the second thing is that the numbers don't tell you a story. The numbers are
They're just
non-contextualized facts. They're just facts that exist. It's up to you to create the narrative. And the way that you create the story is by understanding what the tools mean, what the words mean. And so once you understand those 2 things, that the numbers don't mean anything, and I need to know what the tool means and exactly what it does, what Instagram or YouTube says that it does, then you can begin to weave a story and make better, more educated guesses on what is happening on your page and why.
So like the impressions, because like you sent me something saying like it was showing the chart thing. Like when it's like, okay, so when you're saying like to put it together to tell a story, it's like you can see what things are working and what things aren't, basically based on the data that you're giving. You're like, okay, this kind of content isn't really catching your audience. Like you had told me something, I was like, I gotta make sure I put the link on my thing for my story so that way people can follow. He's like, well, actually, you're
Right.
not getting any traffic from Instagram on YouTube. So
Right.
is that what you mean as far as being able to see the impressions like that?
So yeah, essentially, so it wouldn't be obvious to you that you're not getting a lot of traffic from Instagram, because it's not like YouTube says Instagram, no traffic. It says other when it comes from where people are coming from. So it could come from the main page, could come from obviously current subscribers, and it could be coming from certain keyword searches, but then it says other. And so once you look up what the definition is, it means 5 other places, and one of them is an external link. And obviously, if you put an external link in Instagram, then that fits into the category of other.
Gotcha.
So I know now, okay, if I have a number 0, I got nobody coming from 5 different places, including Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, last question. And I don't know if this is cutting into what your job, like I can't tell you my secrets because I gotta eat, Peacock. And if it is, you'll be like, yeah, they gotta call me, which is even better because I want your phone to ring for people needing your help.
Sure.
So 2 tips of what someone can do to increase their traffic and ultimate phone turnover rate using social media.
The most important thing is to find what the best parts of you and showcase those things as genuinely as possible. I mean, you could go the other route and really just, what a lot of people do is try to create a persona. They treat it like it's a company that's hiring in a marketing agency or advertisement, and they speak very professionally and they do all these things, but there's a reason why a lot of companies are reaching out to influencers and wanting them to advertise their products, because they know right now the market is, we don't want to be sold anything. We just want people that we relate to, and whatever it is that they like, I might buy that if I like
they're
them.
looking at the reviews that they're giving on it. Like this dress I found this dress. It's magic in them threads. That's all I can say. It was the second coming of Tupac. Jesus, all eyes was on me walking around with that dress on, Lord. Anyway, okay, so having their own personality, not being like everybody else that they see, maybe like having something that makes them stick out.
Yeah, I think you have to be honest with yourself about what those things could possibly be. You know, because sometimes you imagine you need to be like something else, or maybe you imagine what your best self is, and maybe it's not. And so sometimes there's a little digging that you should go through and then present that self that you find, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I did.
Being in front of the camera?
Yeah, it's cool.
What did you, so now that we have gotten to we at the end of it now, we're about to go ahead and coast right on into our landing and our, whatever. So your first time being in front of the camera, how did it feel?
Good.
You think you want to do it again?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're gonna come up with something else.
Yeah. I mean, I did it before with Casey, actually. We did like a little react. I just haven't posted it to YouTube yet. We're like reacting to music and stuff. I need to finish editing it, but this is my first time being interviewed, so being put on the spot like that, for sure, yeah.
I'm so happy I could be the one to introduce you into being in front of the camera interview style. I won't say what I call
Thank
it
you.
off the screen. I just keep making up different ones to take. So, so Joe, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Joseph Herrera, how can they find you? If they just have questions, whatever, how can they find you?
I have an Instagram page called Fuchsia Film. I'll spell it out for for everybody on the screen.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my Instagram page, and it's what I'm usually working on right now. Yeah.
Okay, Fuchsia Film.
Yep.
Everybody, Joe Herrera. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of The Real Realtor of Houston. I'm so honored that you have been with me on this journey, or you're newly joining me on the journey, because you are going to be the first one to find out when we get the phone call, that magical phone call, that they want to go ahead and have us on internationally syndicated networks like the Peacock, OWN, and Bravo network. So thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.